What up, y'all? You're listening to Sports Talk with Tropp, and I'm your host, Katie Tropp. Well, the trade deadline is 1 week away, and Tarek Skubal is still a Detroit Tiger, so who knows what's going to happen, but I'm guessing this week is going to probably start getting heated up with the trades. We already had a couple of trades over the weekend. Nothing earth-shattering, but a couple of moves to make some teams a little bit better. One of them we definitely will be talking about because they are in the power rankings for this week. We still got Skubal out there, sounding more and more like the Nationals are looking to trade C.J. Abrams. So there's another guy out there, and there's a lot of teams as well that are kind of they're treading water, but they are actually going to start drowning here pretty soon. So I'm looking for some teams that are not playing so well to actually start making some trades here, trading away their good players and building for the future. And then teams that are probably mentioned in the power rankings this week that are just looking to add to hopefully make a championship run towards the end of the season. So let's get right into the top 10 MLB Power Rankings for this week. No change at number 1. As a matter of fact, it remains the Milwaukee Brewers' overall record of 66-39. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. This past week, they took the series over the New York Mets and the Colorado Rockies. And Mizorowski, man, he is just continuing his insane freaking season. And over the weekend, he knocked out 12 of 14 batters and had 7 straight strikeouts, which is actually now a Milwaukee Brewers record. So the dude's already setting records at such a young age, and I mean his career's only starting. Now I will say, the Brewers are actually starting to not. They're taking him out of games kind of early. He pitched I think like 4 innings last week. This past game I think he was pulled in like the 5th inning. So they're trying to make sure they save him for the playoffs, because obviously it feels like to me the Brewers are headed to the playoffs for sure, but also there's still a lot of baseball to be played, so who knows. But I will say that the Brewers look really damn good, and Mizorowski is obviously a huge part of it. And so, not sending him out there for too long at the end of the season, I don't see a problem with it, especially when he's knocking out 12 of 14 batters who come right up. I mean, 14 batters come right up to bat, and he strikes out 12 of them, all right? That says a lot. And they're like 100-mile-per-hour balls as well. So this guy is just K-ing everybody, and they want to save that elbow for the postseason, because I feel like this is a team that could actually make a run, because they do have quite a bit of depth. They do need to probably make a couple of moves during the trade deadline, but even so, Mizorowski pitching out of his mind. Then at number 2 on my top 10 MLB Power Rankings of the Los Angeles Dodgers, overall record of 67-39. They're 6-4 in their last 10 games. This past week, they took the series over the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets. They did get some bad news about Shohei Ohtani, though. He looks like he's still not going to pitch. I'm going to guess he's probably not going to pitch the rest of the regular season. I don't want to count him out for the postseason, but definitely it's looking more and more like he re-aggravated that knee injury. And that's basically what's taken him out of the pitching lineup. He's still hitting, of course, but the knee has been bothering him when he's pitching, and I just kind of feel like they don't want to lose him for a playoff run that they're probably going to go deep in, as they usually do. But outside of Ohtani, they're pretty much set at the pitching position anyways. I mean, you've got Robolewski, who's been having a phenomenal year with 11 wins on the season, a 2.62 ERA, and 80 strikeouts. And then right behind him is Yamamoto, who's having an amazing year himself. 11 wins, a 2.72 ERA, and 118 strikeouts. So you put those dudes in, and they're pretty much all good. You just keep Ohtani back there with his bat, and it's all good there as well. So the Dodgers, though, they seem to be back on course. I keep talking about Mookie Betts. He's come back off of the injured list, and he kind of took a little bit to get going, but the guy's been on fire pretty much since I want to say the last couple of weeks. He's been on fire. So, I mean, the Dodgers do what the Dodgers do, and it's keep on winning. Boo. Then at number 3 on my top 10 MLB Power Rankings of the Atlanta Braves, they are 62-43 on the season and 7-3 in their last 10 games, and this team's finally turned it back on. I mean, they went through an insane slump this last month. This past week, they took down the San Diego Padres and the Baltimore Orioles, so got some good wins there this week. But they did get some good news. Ronald Acuna Jr., he is back. He is off of the injured list. So they're getting some help there. But, I mean, the dude I'm most impressed with on this team is their rookie catcher, Drake Baldwin. I mean, it feels like every game is coming up to bat and making some big play. On the season, he's batting a 277 with 20 home runs and 56 RBI. And I did mention last show, to me, I kind of feel like he's the leading candidate for the National League Rookie of the Year at this point. I mean, like I said, I could be wrong because maybe I'm not thinking of somebody. Maybe somebody's missing in there. But I just feel like he has been money. Every time he comes up to bat, you know, he was injured for a bit. But once he came back from injury, he was on fire, and it feels like he's making big plays every single game. And I don't know what you need to convince the league to vote him for National League Rookie of the Year, but I just kind of feel like every time this guy's in a game, he's making a big play for the Atlanta Braves. And then also Austin Riley. He's had a up and down season. It hasn't been terrible, hasn't been his worst season, but he also hasn't had what you would say is a typical Austin Riley season. But he did have a pretty solid weekend, had a huge game-winning triple over the weekend. So he's been making some moves himself. And it kind of feels like this Braves team, you know, lucky for them that they were able to get out to a nice lead at the beginning of the season, and it just kind of feels like every time the Phillies try to catch them, they kind of fall back, and now the Phillies are kind of slumping, and the Braves are getting it moving again, and it looks like if they go on another winning streak here for the next couple of weeks, I feel like they're going to lock down that division easily. Then at number 4 in my Tropp 10 MLB Power Rankings of the Tampa Bay Rays, overall record of 62-43. They're 6-4 in their last 10 games. This past week, they took the series over the Toronto Blue Jays and the Cleveland Guardians. And Yandy Diaz has had a phenomenal year. It started out hot, and then, of course, he went on the injured list, so that's going to take you out for a bit. But he has been on fire this second half. After the All-Star break, it's been all about Yandy Diaz for this Tampa Bay Rays team. Right now, he's batting a 303, 14 home runs, and 61 RBI. And then Nick Martinez pitched out of his mind over the weekend. He got his 10th win on the season with a 2.45 ERA and 67 strikeouts. This Tampa Bay Rays team, though, they are stacked, and they're still the top team in the American League. They're still the top team in their division, even though the Yankees and the Red Sox are trying to make a little bit of a run there. This Tampa Bay Rays team, every time it feels like they're going to fall back, they come right back, and they are now on a nice little winning streak here. But what I like about them is how complete they are. I mean, starting pitching's great, bullpen's great, closer's good. Their defense is solid, and then, of course, all the dudes behind the plate. I mean, they are making so many plays on offense right now. It's not just Diaz. It feels like every time I talk about the Rays, I'm talking about a new guy who steps it up each and every week and each and every game. And if they just keep it up, they're going to be the top team in the American League this year. Then at number 5 on my Tropp 10 MLB Power Rankings of the Chicago Cubs, overall record of 59-46. They're 6-4 in their last 10 games. This past week, they lost the series to the Detroit Tigers, but took the series over the Pittsburgh Pirates. And PCA is just continuing his trying to let the league know that he wants to be the National League MVP, and his numbers are proving it. And he's really making some big plays. I mean, there are some other guys in the league where you could probably mention them for MVP as well. But PCA is doing it. He's batting a 290, 23 home runs, and 60 RBI. And he's making the key clutch plays for this team on offense and defense as well. It kind of feels like he's having, back in the day when Anthony Rizzo played for the Cubs, kind of feels like he's taken over this team, kind of like Rizzo did a few years ago, back when they made their World Series run, and he just kind of made that run towards the end of the season, and then the Cubs were able to make that run towards the end of the season, and it really was a huge part of the way Anthony Rizzo was playing, and that's just kind of how PCA is reminding me of this season, where it's like they were slumping, and every time they're slumping, PCA looks at the cameras, and he's like, we're good. I know this team's got it. I know we're good, and just watch me go out there, and they're gonna be ready to go after I get us going. Every time PCA comes up to bat, he's making the big plays, and his teammates are following up. Then at number 6 on my Tropp 10 MLB Power Rankings of the New York Yankees, overall record of 59-46. They're 6-4 in their last 10 games. This past week, they took the series over the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Philadelphia Phillies, but they did get some more bad news. Another guy heads to the injured list. Cody Bellinger, he is now on the injured list. And even though he hasn't been hitting as well as he was to start the season, he is still a huge driving force for them on the offensive side of the ball. And this just takes a huge wind out of their sails. Puts a little bit more pressure on Ben Rice, though. I mean, Ben Rice has not had a bad year at all. I mean, he's having a fantastic year. Even if Aaron Judge was playing, his numbers would probably outweigh Judge's right now. Rice has 31 home runs on the season and 72 RBI. So he's given them a lot of offense. Jazz has been on fire, but I feel like this Bellinger injury is going to be a big deal because even though he's been quiet the last couple of weeks, he has made a few key plays where he's made some big hits in the key moments, and then they've ended up getting the win. And that actually happened over the weekend. Actually, I think in the game that he ended up being taken out in, might have been the game before that, but I think it's possibly the same game. But either way, he was taken out of the game. And then they announced after the game that he's on the injured list, and it looks like he's going to be out about 4 to 6 weeks. So that's pushing up to playoff time. So there's a good chance we're not going to see Cody Bellinger or Aaron Judge until the playoffs for the Yankees. But with that being said, they did get Max Fried back. Max Fried has been solid in his 2 starts since he got back. Cole's been solid. Schlittler's been amazing. So this Yankees team, they've got a lot of talent, and I still expect them to be in the playoff hunt. But that Cody Bellinger injury, I think, takes a lot out of their offense, and that's been a problem for them ever since the Aaron Judge injury because, the first week or two without Aaron Judge, they looked like they were going to get over it and be fine without Judge. But ever since, they just have not been that solid on the offensive side of the ball. And now with Bellinger out, we'll see what happens there. But I think that it takes the wind out of their sails, especially with the Tampa Bay Rays, with such a nice lead right now in the American League East. Then at number 7 on my Tropp 10 MLB Power Rankings of the Boston Red Sox, overall record of 54-50. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games. This past week, they took the series over the Baltimore Orioles and the Toronto Blue Jays. And this was the team I was talking about that made a move. Over the weekend, they traded for Curtis Mead from the Washington Nationals. Not a big name or anything like that, but he's actually had a very solid season. He's made some big plays for the Nationals, and I just kind of feel like he's only going to bolster this Boston Red Sox offense, which has already been on fire the last month, basically since right before the All-Star break, basically. The Red Sox have been on fire. They've really got it together. Big reason why, of course, is Wilson Contreras, who's just been having a phenomenal year, batting .288, 22 home runs and 66 RBI. So this Red Sox team is on fire, and so like I said, the Yankees losing Bellinger, the Red Sox making this Curtis Mead move, and he may not be a game changer like Aaron Judge is, but I think he's going to bolster this offense and give them a little bit more depth, and that's what the Red Sox need to continue this run that they're on right now. Then at number 8 on my Tropp 10 MLB Power Rankings of the Chicago White Sox, overall record of 55-49. They're 6-4 in their last 10 games. This past week, they took the series over the Texas Rangers and lost to the Houston Astros. But Murakami, it's taken him a minute to get back from the injured list, and he came back with a vengeance over the weekend. Actually had 2 home runs in one game. I believe it was Sunday. Might have been Saturday, but over the weekend, he definitely had a game where he had 2 home runs. And it was definitely what he needed because he's been very, very quiet since he came back from the injured list. But he definitely needed those 2 home runs, and I expect him to pretty much just keep it moving after that. Sean Burke also pitched a gem over the weekend as well, just moving his win total up to 7 with a 3.19 ERA and 130 strikeouts on the season. He's kind of looking more and more, even though Davis Martin's the dude, it's looking like Sean Burke's kind of trying to let him know I'm the type of dude who could come out here and I've got ace material, and this White Sox starting pitching rotation is so deep, and I just kind of feel like I don't expect them to win a World Series, but if they make the playoffs, I feel like they're going to surprise some people. I definitely think they're going to give at least one team. Let's say they are in the wild card round, for example, and they go up against a team. Let's just say, I don't know who, but look, they just go up in the first round and against a team nobody expects them to beat, and then they beat them. That's kind of how I feel about the White Sox. Is they've got a lot of depth. They've got a lot of young guys, and they are actually very fun to watch, especially with just how terrible they've been over the last, 3 to 5 seasons. And now here they are completely turned it around and still dominating their division. Then at number 9 on my top 10 MLB Power Rankings are the Philadelphia Phillies. Overall record of 57-49. They're 4-6 in their last 10 games. This past week, they lost a series to the Dodgers, and then they lost a series to the Yankees, so you definitely don't want to be doing that. Like I said, the Braves are streaking up, and right now the Phillies are streaking down. They definitely needed that win over the Yankees over the weekend because they would have got swept had they not got the win on Sunday Night Baseball. But besides that, even though they're slumping right now, Christopher Sanchez is not slumping. He has been phenomenal every time this guy comes out to pitch. He's got 13 wins on the season with a 2.73 ERA and 157 strikeouts. Just a phenomenal year for Sanchez. But I will say the Philadelphia Phillies are probably going to be one of those teams looking to give their offense a little bit of a boost. They are in the mix for Tarek Skubal apparently, but I mean, it kind of feels like everybody is at this point. Like I keep saying about Skubal, I kind of won't be surprised if he's still a Detroit Tiger next week when the trade deadline's over. But at the same time, if he goes to a team like the Phillies, that kind of puts them over the edge for the World Series, in my personal opinion. You put him, Sanchez, Skubal, Wheeler, Nola. I mean, that's pretty tough. But at the same time, I think they're more looking to boost their offensive side of the ball because it feels like their starting pitching rotation's pretty solid. Their bullpen's pretty solid. It's really just the offense. That's what's been cold lately, and so they probably are looking to boost the offense a bit, but we'll see. Then at number 10 on my top 10 MLB Power Rankings this week, I have the Arizona Diamondbacks. Overall record of 55-51. They're 6-4 in their last 10 games. This past week, they took the series over the A's and then lost to the Washington Nationals. This is another team that could be potentially making some movements at the trade deadline. It looks like Ketel Marte, who's been a very, very solid player for them over the years, he's sounding like he's a little bit unhappy there. And so it looks like he could be potential trade bait. But I am hearing that they are the top team in the running for C.J. Abrams, which I think would be huge for them because he's excellent on the offensive side of the ball. He's also a solid defensive player as well. Now, I don't know what they would do at defense because Abrams is a shortstop. And they do kind of have that infield position area pretty much taken care of right now. But we'll see. I mean, you never know what's going to happen at the trade deadline. But it kind of feels like this is the team that's right now the front runner for Abrams, who actually just smashed a couple home runs against his team over the weekend as well. So it looks like he might actually fit pretty well in that Arizona Diamondbacks stadium. But like I said, we've got the trade deadline next Monday. So expect some type of moves throughout the week. Not sure what, like I keep saying about Skubal, I kind of feel like he's going to remain with the Tigers, especially because he's been pitching out of his mind. Tigers are starting to streak on the upside right now, but at the same time, do we really think that's a team that's a World Series contender? And they could get a lot of assets for Tarek Skubal. So it's going to be interesting if he goes wherever he goes. He's definitely going to be a game-changing pitcher for whoever. Like I said, imagine him with that Philadelphia Phillies starting pitching lineup. That would be insane. But at the same time, they've been talking about trading Skubal for years, and who knows? He's probably still going to end up with the Tigers when it's all said and done. But at the end of the day, there's going to be some moves all throughout the week. So we'll talk about them on Friday if anything big happens. If not, we'll talk about it next week. But enjoy the rest of the week of sports, and I will talk to you fools on Friday.